Through the 13 basic course lessons, you will have built the model shown on the screen now. Let's take a look at it. This model considers the choice between two mortgage options over a range of different scenarios. The model consists of a control sheet that you see before you and that can be used as a powerful communication tool, a scenario sheet which contains all the inputs for the different scenarios, and the model. First, let's look at the different scenarios that we have. The first scenario we have is a pre-credit crunch scenario. Now here are the key assumptions that we've made, and here are the key outputs. We have assumptions about the house value, the purchase year, how long we're holding the house for, discount rate, house price inflation, the max repayment term for the mortgage, and then we have our two mortgage assumptions. One with a small deposit and high interest rate, and one with a high deposit and correspondingly low interest rate. And then down here we have our outputs, so the discounted cost of the two mortgages and in which year this indifference point happens, which is in year 9. So here is our pre-credit crunch scenario, when it didn't matter how much deposit you had, you broadly get the same interest rate. And here is our post-credit crunch scenario, where if you're going to have only a very small amount of equity in your house, then you'll pay a very large interest rate. We also have in here a recovery scenario and a base case scenario. Now all of that is very simple to do, and you'll have learned how to do that in the basic course. But I just want to show you how powerful these techniques are. We could add a scenario. Let's say we're having a conversation with our boss and they're going, well, I want to see a different scenario where you hold the house for a much shorter period. You'd simply go to the scenario tab, insert a column, fifth scenario, we're going to call this quick sale, and we're going to change some of the inputs. Rather than buying it in year 1, we're going to buy it in year 2, and we're only going to hold it for 5 years. And let's say the reason we're only holding it for 5 years is we think there's going to be a phenomenal amount of house price inflation in the short term, but not in the long term. Otherwise we'll leave everything else the same. Now let's have a look what that looked like. So here was our scenario 4, and scenario 5 looks like this. So here is we're buying it a year later, and then we're selling it in a really short amount of time. Let's take a look at how that worked. We added the new scenario in here, and all of these inputs get pulled up here. So because this says 5, then what we've pulled up is the household period of 5 years, and that gets picked up in the model over here. Here's the household period of 5 years. And this runs through calculating the discount index and the house price inflation index, and works out our mortgage start and mortgage end. So here you can see that we're only going to be paying our mortgage for 5 years because we're only holding the house for 5 years. Here's the house owned flag as well. And then we have our mortgage 1 calculations here, and a direct replication of that for mortgage 2, so they're identical, calculating our NPVs and IRRs. This gives you a really simple model that you can navigate, but also read like you would read an essay. There's a bit about the timeline, there's your generic inputs, your timing, mortgage 1, mortgage 2, your graph, and your results. So while this looks very simple, and due to the simplicity of this model it is in fact very simple, the techniques demonstrated will enable you to build much more complex models with the same robust flexibility. If you want to give yourself the edge in an analytics or financial modelling role, then the basic course is for you. For a mere £49 and about 8 hours of your time, you can dramatically improve your efficiency and effectiveness with Excel. Maybe even get that promotion, or land that dream job. Sign up to the basic course now to learn these time-saving techniques.